play that. I do have something juicier as the backup deck for today. This one has been a work in progress for a long time. Really, honestly, Ground Seal has been kind of like a card I've been very excited to play, because like I was just really I've had this green red Enchantress shell for a little bit that is trying to use Woodland in addition to Rumble, the normal Enchantress card selection, to assemble Quest for Pure Flame plus all will be one. If you don't know this combo, this is a 2 enchantments, total 6 mana. This says whenever a source you control deals damage to an opponent, put a quest counter on this. This says whenever one or more counters are put on a permanent or counters are put on a permanent player, this deals that much damage to a creature or a battle or a planeswalker. Or not battle? Opponent, creature, or planeswalker. Okay, so if you get both these in play, and you can take up a Fable token, Wrenn and Six, Seal of Fire, to get the loop going. Once you get the loop going, this gets a counter, this deals a damage. This gets a counter, this deals damage. So it's a pretty or relatively fast, or maybe not fast, but hard to interact with combo that is better with Shifting Woodlands. Your ability to woodland your all will be one, to rumble over it, save it for later, loot it away with Fable, get it later is all really, really nice. And then the woodlands also tend to play really well in Enchantress, where you can fear your Sanctum Weaver dying a little bit less. Where when your Sanctum Weaver dies, like woodlanding Weaver a lot of times is really mana positive because you just have so many enchantments in play. Now, it is a little bit weird to be playing so many Blood Moons with the Woodland plan, but you can kind of pivot in and out of the plan a little bit. And the Woodlands, despite being a 4 in the deck, are not like the primary plan necessarily, as so far as they're just kind of a good utility land in this deck. I think you're okay losing them for Blood Moon. I do think it's a reasonably good Blood Moon format at the moment. You can kind of move away from Blood Moons in a lot of matchups. Ground Seal is like one thing I was really bummed with was like the lack of good enchantment graveyard hate, but Ground Seal I think is specifically good graveyard hate right now because it stops both Goryo's Persist and Emperor of Bones, which I think is really cool. Ground Seal also shuts off Woodland. Again, the Woodland is just kind of a good utility land in this deck. We're not playing Omniscience. We have played Omniscience in this kind of shell before. We're not playing Omniscience. Like, this is just a good utility land. It's okay to turn it off. It's not like Plan A or anything. It's like it is okay that to Blood Moon and to Ground Seal it, I think. Okay, so we're on the draw for round 1. We have a 1-lander, but a really good 1-lander. Let's get the calculator out, because we're happy to draw Utopia Sprawl or a land. So we have, let's call it 18 lands because we have the fetch land. Maybe that's not how we should do it. I guess we'll do 9. So we have 20. So we have 23 good draws on the first draw step. So we have a sample size. Let's say on the first draw step we have the successes of 23. So this should be less than 50, 47. And then by the second draw step, it's 68. And if we surveil, it's like about 82. But this is counting the sprawl. But I think that's, so this is maybe closer to like 75 actual numbers. I would not take in Ground Silver's Titan, as they will always get the first analyst return. I mean, I think that's fair, yeah. They consider Sedestin champion over Eidolon. It's not. Eidolon is better. I have tested both. I for some reason I have tested both. Aren't I on the way? Wait, I am on the play. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I totally thought I lost the die roll. Thankfully, my opponent took a lot longer to think there, so we just get the surveil then. I guess it was just a mulligan. We thought about Archway of Innovation and Marvel. It helps you cast Marvel any fatties on the draw. A little bit. The problem is like both require a lot of support, and there's not a lot of overlap. Wow, we're getting Esper Sentineled. Hammered. Okay, interesting. The Seal of Fire should be pretty good against like Pure Steel Paladin. I do find the land. So seems like I need to just play both Seal of Fires, right? And pass. This way, when they go for the Pure Steel Paladin, I can kill whatever they attach the hammer onto, and also the Paladin. What happens if you copy Blood Moon with Woodland, like an opponent's upkeep, example versus Titan? Then it should just be like there's a Blood Moon in play for the turn. I don't really see why anything else would happen. Yeah, we did trophy. I think we'll Seal of Fire this now. It seems like they don't have the Paladin. Maybe this is bait. think it's probably going to be okay. See what we draw. We draw another copy of Sanctum Weaver. I think I'd be happy enough to not hit a land off the Rumble, so we'll just play the Sanctum Weaver. Like, I'd be happy enough to try to find some action here. Although the Eidolon of Blossoms, this is an Enchantress, we'll find some stuff. Second Saga, 3 cards in their hand. Looks like they're just going for the Saga token. We draw a Shifting Woodland. You can see doing a couple different things, I guess. If I find Delirium plus all will be one, we can combo here. So I think that's going to be my reason for casting the Rumble first. Instead, we find Enchantress's Presence. So let's go. Cast Sanctum Weaver, then cast the Presence, and then really pop off next turn. I don't think we're very likely to die here. Last words said by a man who lost the game. Yeah, I guess I guess if they have Pure Steel Paladin, we're cooked. I guess no, because they can only equip one thing. Yeah, let me update the Foxfield hand. Sometimes I forget, I just update that. Love to see them make a Saga token. The Surprise Esper Affinity Infect deck, hell yeah. Maybe getting boots for the construct here. So we could Seal of Fire the Ornithopter, which would be -2 mana for us, and then also it's also like our combo starter. So, well, I think we're just gonna take 13. Right now, these are tapping for 4. We could play the quest first and have them tap for 5. Eidolon first for more cards, though. Yeah, I think we've got plenty. Close to plenty of mana. Okay, we do find all will be one, so GG. I do think maybe I mistapped though. I don't think it's very likely they have anything. Now we've got an extra combo starter. Oh, right. Heat doesn't start the combo. Okay, always yield. Then, you know, some combos are annoying because you have to click through them. In this deck, it just oh wait. I thought I always yes to this. I guess maybe you have to always yes. I have to click always yes to both. You can this is a combo that you can just automate where the triggers just trigger themselves. Been a while since we played this deck. We played this deck with the ring was legal some because like tapping the ring triggered it, and then you would just like also draw a ton of cards, and a 2-card combo that wasn't creature based and won immediately was kind of cool. So up a game against Hammer. Let's bring in our Seal of Primordiums. I want to play Fire Magics. Fire Magic seems okay. I think I want to have like 1 or 2 Blood Moons in the draw. I think I want to have no Fables. I might cut the Wrenn and Sixes for Fire Magics. Yeah, we should be able to auto yes, but I had already like started the loop, and so it was kind of annoying to undo everything to do it again. Room for 1 more card. Guess we'll play first Wrenn and Six over first Fable. Guess we're kind of low on combo starters with no Wrenn and Sixes, no Fables. Something like this. Did you mean to put Weaver in the sideboard? No, I did not. Oh, sorry. Did not mean to side out a Weaver, and you did never ever do that. Okay, let me pay out the Believers. Not sure what I meant to cut instead. We have a Sanctum Weaver, which is nice. There's a Min Might. when I was first playing Magic, this is like 2012. There was a guy who had like I guess you would call it a like a kitchen table modern deck. I'm gonna play Sprawl on Mountain here. They have to have they have 4 cards and 3 of them need to be 0 mana artifact white source paladin for me to get really punished. I think I'm okay if that's 3 of their 4 cards. He had like a kind of a kitchen table modern deck, and I just had like a my standard deck that was the only thing I had because I was just starting, and he would like just ask if I wanted to play casually, and I said sure, and then he would just always go. He just had Midnight in his deck. I don't even remember what the deck was. I don't remember it being very competitive, but he would just always go free Midnights are free, and he would just play all of his Midnights. And I don't even remember there really being synergy with Midnight in his deck. He would just always say free Midnights are free, and then they wouldn't really do that much. They got 2 cards in their hand. Presumably they've got a paladin, although they might have played the hammer out for the rebuke. Okay, I did not play around Kappa Cannoneer very well. I don't know that I've ever even seen Kappa Cannoneer in hammer before. Kind of cool. I guess we're going to play an Eidolon instead of a Wrenn and Six this turn. I'm down to 9. I'd like to rumble here. The spawn token might get to block the Kappa Cannoneer. Okay, so we'll take the Sanctum Weaver so we can do a lot of digging next turn. Will you queue in the channel with the Ice deck? Is it already too late? I'm not going to play today. I've got to go to the mechanic. Today I've got an appointment. But I might play it in the challenge on Friday. Not that do a Pure Steel Paladin because we can just block whatever. Cannoneer Hammer is a deck name that just kind of rolls off the tongue, huh? This is tapping for 5 at the moment. Maybe we should play the other Enchantress first. Trying to find Quest for Pure Flame, of course. Although, now I'm just going to go Unholy Heat and pay 4. Oh, I guess I should have probably woodlanded my Sanctum Weaver too. We found a fire magic. I guess we'll hold that up against the Midnight Inkmoth Nexus. Well, unfortunately, this will probably get the concession. Oh, forgot I'm only playing 2 Stomping Grounds. As you were. They're in here somewhere. So this is, I think it's correct here for me to woodland the Sanctum Weaver. Shifting Woodland can be a lot of things, including a ritual. I guess we started just rumble first, though. Still have not found one of our quests. That's okay, though. I think I'll play Enchantress's Presence over another Seal of Fire. So this is newly controlled, which means I can't copy a Sanctum Weaver with it this turn. Although there's our quest for Pure Flame. Nice. Always yes. I thought maybe you can't right click always yes anymore. Yeah, quest and all we want is an infinite damage combo. Keeping this on the play. I think because I'm lacking an Enchantress, I'm gonna value a Surveil here instead of getting the Seal of Fire down for the Sanctum Weaver. The clicking, I maybe just need to get a new mic bar. It's like falling apart. All right, Surveil. Let's keep the Rumble, and then we get to Wrenn and Six, the Ocelot Pride. Interesting. I think we are going to do this instead of prioritizing the minus plus the Seal of Fire activation. Maybe that's wrong. Seems like they are Mardu. I guess a Flage would be really bad. Did they go for a Goblin Bombardment? I'm regretting not killing the Voice of Victory. Blocking is kind of the same as not blocking because the bombardment. It's all an illusion. So they got 4 cards left. So we're going to be looking for a quest for Pure Flame off of the Rumble. Try to combo off the following turn. I think we're still going for that. We don't find it. Instead, we find a Utopia Sprawl. So let's go ahead and just play Enchantress's Presence this turn. Send it back. 2018 Spike would have killed the creature. I guess so. I wasn't sure that they were Mardu. For some reason, I thought that they were just black-white, but probably a mistake for me to think that. If we don't kill Voice, do we not just get Wrenn Shrek without bombardment? We could block a 1-power thing. I think it was probably right to kill the Voice, but for some reason I was thinking they were like a dopey black-white deck. I might want to kill like Guide of Souls instead. I don't know. I do like to see Halia. I don't like to see Thraben Charm on my Enchantress's Presence. Could maybe copy the Presence and play the Sprawl. Seems a little anemic. Less anemic? No, sorry, it's the same, but I think we'll do this and we'll keep digging. Doesn't really counter much on their side besides like Flip to Johnny if you have the CO4. Taking 3 down to 9, then 2 more down to 7, effectively at 5. Effectively at 4. We can't, oh, I guess also we can't combo kill anymore. Maybe we're just toasted. This is the anti-Boros list? Oh, the anti-Boros list. We 5-0'd with the Ice Steel Brood Scale build. I'm feeling like we punted this one pretty bad. Too little, too late. I'm dead, right? I go block here. Then I take 3 plus 4, 7. Okay. Too little, too late. Going to game 2. So they are Mardu. The Blood Moons are going to be a little bit better against them than usual. But I think the plan is still going to be cut all of them and then play a Ground Seal. We could, I think, I could get a little greedy and try to play 1 Blood Moon on the play. It is probably, it is really good if it's in our opening hand and we have Sprawl. Alright, let's try it. Might end up regretting it. Wrong seal. I meant to bring in this one. Not Ground Seal doesn't do anything against them. Seal of Primordium kills their bombardment and then their static presence if they have those. Gonna keep this on the play. Just gonna lead on the Surveil land. Where did these come from? Every day we discover a new bug. My opponent's on a Mold 6 here. We can graveyard this and maybe just woodland it later. Been streaming for like 6 or 7 years. No idea what caused this. Alright, so them knowing about the fire magic is of course going to make it harder for them to get got by it. They take my Sprawl, which I guess makes some sense. That's kind of the only unique card here. I think I'd like to hold the Seal of Fire for maybe an Enchantress. It's important to make sure an Enchantress is a good top deck in these kind of decks. We've kept a 1-lander. The disrespect. Still want to save the fire magic. They could have an Ajani Master. Second Thoughtseize, they're down to 13 life. They probably take the fire magic. They can maybe prioritize the seal instead. Those are, in fact, the only 2 options. Might be a classic Mana Flood versus Mana Screw kind of game. They do take the fire magic. We could play both seals out to play around another Thoughtseize, but I think keeping these in hand for an Enchantress is going to be better. Almost always. I am thinking that it's probably okay to main phase Surveil. If I see specifically Quest for Pure Flame on top, it could be more interesting to play a seal out, which we don't see. We do have 1 Blood Moon in the deck. We don't have a basic forest, but we need some action, so we'll just graveyard that. They still miss their second land drop. We do find a Rumble. And then, so now we do have Delirium. So let's just take the quest and then cast a quest, cast a seal, can combo off next turn. One of the strangest post MH3 games of Modern I've ever played. They do have the second land, so if they have the Thraben Charm, they probably want to go after my graveyard. Instead, they maybe don't know how the combo works, or maybe they have nothing. Maybe they have Surgical Extraction. Let's see if they have Surgical. Surgical would be pretty good. Okay, they don't know how the combo works, or they have nothing. So always yield. Yeah, it looks like, okay. It looks like it's not always letting me always yes. We have been able to auto yes to this in past experiences playing the combo. It's still a really easy combo to click through. Alright, so I think on the draw, I'm going to play a seal over the Blood Moon and then go to game 3. The Veil of Summer is kind of interesting with all the Thoughtseizes. Worse on the draw, though. Kind of the only thing it lines up well against, too. Yeah, it used to be you could just let the combo go and you could walk away for a bit. How does this work? Okay, so All Be One says, whenever you put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, it is you. Sorry, I thought it was both players. Whenever you put 1 or more counters, it deals that much damage to any target. Quest says whenever you deal damage, you put a counter on it. So they loop infinitely with each other. I guess we gotta mulligan this on the draw against Mardu. Always hate mulliganing a Sprawl, but we do have 6 mana sources. They're also on a Mold 6. This hand is significantly better. I'm gonna go ahead and get a little greedy, put back the basic forest, I think. No, let's put back a second Heath. So if they play a Johnny, we can heat the Johnny, then Wrenn and Six the token. They have lands this time as they graveyard a Marsh Flats. They do play a Sacred Foundry. And they play Voice of Victory. Cannot Unholy Heat yet. Graveyard the Stomping Ground. I guess I pick up the Stomping Ground, pass back. Can the combo be interrupted with something like Force of Vigor? Yes, but you could get the combo loop started again. So you could have multiple combo starters to respond to a disenchant if you want to play around it. Agree with Omni Woodland Folk Amazing. Yeah, I do think that that deck is just so good. Glad you're liking it. They do have a Bombardment. I have a Seal of Primordium. The thing is, they're going to be able to kill my Wrenn and Six. But maybe I can just go seal the Bombardment, heat the Guide. Down to 18. They've got 2 energy. Getting a little flooded. Not help myself registering 1 gut shot. Well, that's the kind of nice thing about Seal of Fire is it can be a 0 mana combo starter. Gonna be a tough one. You know, I think maybe one of my biggest like misevaluations ever was Voice of Victory. It's just a card that I'm like, Grand Abolisher isn't good. This card's probably not good. Okay, so we do want to go on the Sprawl here so we can go top deck, Fire Magic, and deal 3 damage to everything. But I just totally missed how good this is with like every energy card. We've got Halia and the Warp. They've got 2 other cards. I'm really happy to see these energy variants playing Halia. I do think it's like at least significantly better than Fable. Not that Mardu usually plays Fable, but in like regular Boros, I think it's better. I'm down to 2. They've got a Flage. So I'm going to be down to 5. If I top deck Fire Magic, I fetch down to 4, and they can Flage me down to 1, and then all will be 1, and by all I mean my life total. Oh, they just obviously flipped the Johnny instead. So I guess we're dead. Yeah, the Mobilize 2 is pretty crazy on this card. It's definitely not too strong for Modern, but just one I definitely overlooked. Mulligan, the 1-lander, pretty close. You're keeping second Blood Moon? I think I'll keep second Blood Moon. Just put back the 3rd fetch. Why does an stable Amulet see more play? It seems pretty good, but every time I build an Amulet deck, it's great. Better multiples, the deck as a whole feel weak. I do think Amulet's like a playable Modern card. I think the biggest reason maybe Unstable Amulet doesn't really see play is they banned Amped Raptor, and those 2 cards were really good together. Like they're just like there isn't a huge density of good energy generators. I do think that the card is fine. I do feel like the card feels pretty good to play with, but this might sound kind of weird. Like Modern isn't a format that like super rewards you for like slower card advantage cards like that right now. Modern's a format that rewards you for higher speeds, and it's kind of been like that for a while. Okay, so let's hope they don't get a basic planes. Obviously, second energy opponent in a row is a Snorefest. Guessing all be one can combo with quests by removing counters in response to trigger. I mean, just putting a counter on the quest triggers the all be one, which triggers the quest. What was the best mystery card in Insight? Assuming you mean Hindsight, they do get the planes. It was definitely Nadu. I do think Raptor was the second best card. Raptor is like still somehow a card that gets slandered all the time. It was Raptor is like the best card I've ever seen that gets like just like trash talked constantly. You mean you could put 7 the counter and response remove it so it does 14. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because it deals infinite damage. But yeah, you could remove the counters to have it deal more damage. But like Raptor's a 2-mana 2/1 first striker that sometimes casts Blood Moon, the One Ring, a Johnny, Guide of Souls. Like it's just like it was always so nuts. It bricked even in like even like its biggest brick was it would hit Galvanic Discharge on an empty board and it would just give you 4 energy total. It was like it looks like it does. Removing the counters does sacrifice that, so you don't want to do it. Raptor didn't need a ban. It was the ring that needed a ban, and they needed to. So this is the thing. Amped Raptor was an insanely broken card, and people, like a lot of people, have your opinion too, Draven, that it didn't need a ban. It was a 2-mana 2/1 first striker that cast like imagine if a Johnny came with a 2/1 2/1 first striker that was red. That's what Amped Raptor was a lot of time. Imagine if Blood Moon was 2 mana and it came with a 2/1 first striker. That was Amped Raptor. It was like it's still honestly wild to me that we're still slandering Amped Raptor all this time later. The card was like so not okay. The card was so not okay. And then sometimes it also did cast the ring, and the ring did also need to get banned. But it was also imagine if the ring was 2 mana and came with a 2/1 first striker. Yeah, Raptor with Steel kind of be crazy. You need to do it the schedule ban announcement. I agree. The schedule bans are a big problem. It's not slander. It's just an objectively true statement. This is the thing. Saying it's like objectively true that Raptor didn't need to be banned. I feel like, I think Raptor was the best card in Boros, and Boros was a really really gross deck. Still is a gross deck, but especially when they had Ring and Raptor and Gigantha. Raptor died for a Johnny's sins. The thing is, Raptor is always as good as the best card in your deck, right? Raptor is always as good as the best card in your deck, and so like a Johnny is really really strong, but like. Whatever the best card in your deck is, Raptor is that card plus a 2/1 first striker a lot of the time. But it's, to me, it's just still wild. We're having this conversation. I don't think the general modern community puts enough respect on how good Amped Raptor was. Except for hitting the second Raptor. I mean, hitting the second Raptor was fine. It's 2 mana, 2 mana, 2/1 first strikers is like I feel like that card would probably see some play. Just 2 mana, 2 different 2/1 first strikers that also makes 2 energy. Like that is just a modern playable card, and that is like the floor of the card, sure. But like, I would definitely be interested in registering that. Okay, best top deck. I will say I never felt more alive when Raptor cast the One Ring. I'll take that back any day. See? Into posting. Just kidding. Yeah. Boros players would be like, okay, I'm gonna tap Amped Raptor. I have 4/2 first strike power over 2 bodies, and I got 2 energy. That sucked. That was the worst case scenario. Raptor is individually the strongest card. Johnny's more difficult to replace than Energy Shell. Yeah, I mean, this is of course the problem too. Is that guide prior to Johnny Raptor, just like none of these cards should have probably been designed as is, but especially not all together. They do go after the quest. What is your quest? To seek the flame. So I am really interested in saving this heat for a Guide of Souls. I'm also interested in tapping out for all. I think I'm more interested in tapping out for the all for one next turn. We do still have Seal of Fire for the guide. Would you be happier if Flage never happened? Yeah, so like one thing that's really interesting to me about Flage, and even though it's not necessarily a card I have a huge amount of beef with, was that like I think if Flage didn't exist, I think Wizards would have been a really strong deck in Modern for like quite some time. I think I just the Wizard Shell I think has been a pretty good, or has had like some pretty good possibilities in Modern, and has had a hard time really shining because like if your Boros opponent draws a Flage, it is like impossible to win. Or not impossible. You have to be so ahead. You just have to be so ahead. But I think the Wizard Shell has had a lot of good tools that it could have been utilizing to like good effect in the Modern format for a while. But like just the like Flage is just a card that is just, it's kind of like how Uro was back in the day. Like just your opponent drew an Uro, you can't win if you're playing a deck like that. Isn't Flage really good for Modern, even though it's escapist poor card design, since it's peak mid-range? I guess I don't know what that means. It's peak mid-range. It really, as far as mid-range decks, it only goes in Boros. I do think that this is a big problem with Boros too. Is it's like it's an aggro deck and it's a mid-range deck. It's like you know, usually mid-ranges are decks that play a more controlling or aggressive role depending on the matchup. But the card quality in this archetype is just so high that it can really function as either. And then it's both of those decks, and it also gains a ton of life. So it's like anti-aggro in such a way. I don't know. I would not say Flage is really good for Modern, but it's not. It's not a card I have a huge beef with. This doesn't really do anything, since we still get our combo broken up by a Thraben Charm. We'd love to draw another Seal of Fire. We'll see if they have a Galvanic Discharge to stop me from getting the combo going. Would it be fine if it existed only in Jeskai mid-range but not in an aggro deck? I don't know. It seems like that's like just not ever the case, or that's not the case. I don't know. I don't know if it matters. I like maybe Flage would be more fine if Arena of Glory didn't exist. I have this back. Mice with Flage, it fixes the main cost of aggro decks needing to reach big Haymaker grind for basically 0 opportunity cost. Okay, we can't have this back. Womp womp. You know, this is a little weird, but I think I want to get a little weird today. Yeah, no, I do think Flage is a card that's got some issues. Okay, I want to play my weird mono green Convoke deck. Through the Omen Path, all in Convoke. This is a deck that I will say has not.